This doesn't work for the people listening.
Yeah, it did. We were
True.
and most people listen. They thought that there was a problem with the audio for our four viewers that are gonna watch the YouTube.
Dude,
We were acting frozen.
true, the YouTube. Yeah. But we'll post a clip eventually.
Yeah, well, our Insta listeners, our clip listeners, watchers,
Our
they'll get it.
clips, our
Our
clip tips.
clippies. Yeah.
Um,
Oh my
so
gosh.
it's a huge week coming up because Utopia is finally coming out. Travis Scott's becoming the first artist to not only drop his album, but he's dropping a movie with his album.
What type of movie? Honestly, you have Utopia on this thing, and I just had no idea what it was until you just said it.
Yeah, Travis Scott last dropped Astroworld in 2018, and so he's had quite the time to make an album. We've been waiting on it. He did have a concert that killed a few people. I'm sure that slowed it down a little bit, but
Yeah,
we're here.
legal ramifications.
Yeah, he got cleared like 2 months ago.
He did what every artist does when they act like they care. They just go under the radar, and then when people inevitably forget about it, then they just come back, and that's it. They're like, why was that guy missing for so long?
Yeah, that's a fact.
What I can't remember what why did Morgan Wallen wait to put his third album out?
Yeah,
I don't know, but
yeah,
I love him. But I
yeah,
love him.
PR.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's gonna be huge. I'm definitely gonna come a little bit, and I'll probably talk about that the next podcast when I have the chance to listen to it. The movie's called Circus Maximus, so no idea what it's about, but it's kind of cool name. I
Some
feel like it's gonna be a cool
weird.
movie.
Yeah,
Um,
it's definitely weird.
and I also figured out we were supposed to pod last week, so it's a tiny bit late. But if I before I die, I want to go to Michael Rubin's white party.
That looked really amazing. I almost think that there was no actual conversations there. It was just people at here for like a 2 hour, 3 hour staged event, and they went and shook as many people's hands as possible and acted like they were having conversations so they could take pictures, but nobody actually ever talked to anybody. There probably wasn't even music playing.
Did you read about that, or did you like? Is that a conspiracy?
I'm
Like, is that
making
a
an
conspiracy?
assumption. Yeah,
Oh,
just because there's so many people there, and there was people with like pictures of them with 100 different celebrities, because there was
yeah. Just
a
they
crazy
were all
amount of
just
people
taking
there.
pictures of their.
You can't have
Also,
time to actually talk to these people. They probably walked up to each other and shook each other's hand and said picture, and then just say, yeah, picture. Good. Let's take a picture, and then we're gone.
yeah, no, and also maybe change the name.
Yeah,
I don't. I have you watched the League?
black and white party.
Yeah, we just watched the League recently, and his Dre was having a party, and the thing just says "whites only" on the cover.
Yeah.
And the two people of color walk up, and they're just like, and he's like, "No, like come in." But yeah, I
Didn't
would
they
call it maybe like, uh, they say white's a tint. How about tinty's out?
tinties out? I don't mind that. I never
I
had a
don't know
bad
if
tint.
they'd love
Never
it.
heard of bad tinties.
Never been a bad tinty.
Um, I don't know. I don't know if anybody at the party minded the white name.
No, I mean they're literally all wearing white clothing.
Yeah,
It's very simple what's going on there.
they just protested and like put cow's blood on all their white stuff at the party because they hated the name.
I'm trying to think of the most random person I saw. I saw that there was there. I'd go probably Grant Williams. He has to be up there.
Dude, that was so funny. Who was making fun of him? Like, they were like, why the hell?
It was
How the hell did he get an
JJ
invite?
Redick,
Yeah, yeah, and he was there too. Though there was like
but he's friends with
there
Michael
was
Rubin
everybody.
because Michael Rubin
Yeah,
and JJ was on the Sixers. So like they actually know each other. Grant Williams, I
Mike,
think, was there because he's Jason Tatum's friend.
who is Michael Rubin? He
Doesn't
played
he?
basketball.
No, he's like a very rich person. I think he owns the Sixers though.
No, he could. I saw that it
He's
was
the
like
CEO of
Fanatics.
yeah, the CEO of
Okay,
Fanatics. He's 51. He's worth $11 billion. Went to
damn.
Villanova. Oh, he founded eBay, Fanatics, eBay, and Reform Alliance. eBay
Interesting.
Enterprise. I don't know if that's the same thing.
Hmm. eBay
Um,
might be more than just what we use as the app eBay. This guy He's worth $11 billion. I bet he did do eBay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wonder if
that's
like he's.
wild.
I mean, he obviously has to be a really cool guy, but I wonder if the celebrities go because it's like if it's Michael Rubin's party or it's like, you know, oh, I want to hope that celebrity that I never get to see is there,
I bet
and we
it's a bit
can
of both. And
bazang.
I know he probably started that way. He's like, I got so much money. Let's just start with a banger. And maybe the first couple years wasn't as sick, but then he got like Tom Brady to come. People like, oh shit, Tom Brady's there. And then Usain Bolt came or something
Yeah,
like that. And then he was moving and grooving. And all of a sudden, you get all the Hollywood hosts there and stuff.
I wonder if they had a drug party or if it was like a do all your drugs before you show up type deal.
Only that's what it means. Only white drugs.
Yeah, so you could tell.
Yeah. Everybody just wear white clothes, so that's what they think's going on.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think I would like to go to that before I die. I don't think I had any chance of going, but if
No, if
we want to
not,
50-50 gets to show up in like what's the year in like 2032 when Michael
yeah,
Rubin's like his first 60th.
mm-hmm. And if not, we're gonna throw our own white party right next door.
any of you whites want to come over here?
Our black party.
Yeah. I mean, if we have it right next to him, press.
Yeah. People are like, I'm gonna go check that out, and we're gonna be like, oh, we have jungle juice.
Yeah. We have pike juice, and we were thinking we
Like,
could play beer pong if you wanted to.
you guys have Mountain Dew? Be like, that is not Mountain Dew, brother. It was Mountain Dew, but now you're in for a ride.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so
dude,
I want to hear. I heard something happened recently to you, and you
yeah.
sent a
So
Snapchat about it, but you didn't get to elaborate on it. So I want to
yeah,
hear what's
I
up.
just sent you guys a Snapchat last night. Me with my gun. I wasn't home last night. I was gone for a minute, and I it was 10 o'clock at night. I get an update on my phone that there's somebody at the front door. Sarah's just home with our daughter. I'm like, oh motherfucker. So I look, and there's just a man standing in my front yard, and I'm like, hello, because I can talk to him through my camera. But the issue was when I pressed the talk button, I can't hear anything, and I didn't know that because I've never had to do this before. So he's like, I think he's trying to say something, and then I'm going back and forth, and nobody knows what anybody's saying. All I hear him say is, "I want somebody to come down and talk to me. Come outside." And I've seen way too many horror fucking like things in real life where people are like, "Oh, I'm not telling you where you are," or they're like, "Oh, I found your dog," or "I found your cat," or "I just
Yeah.
need you to come outside." And then they jump them, or they have people come out of the bushes. And I have a big like tree bush to my left that there could have been 3 people in that the camera can't see.
Facts.
So I'm like, Sarah, stay inside. I said, get ready to call the cops if I tell you to. So I go back to the camera after I called her, and I keep talking to this dude. And I said, what do you want? You got to tell me what you want. He says, it's a long story, but do you have a kitten? I
What?
said, no. I said, no.
No.
And then I went back and called Sarah. I was like, Sarah, everything he said did not make sense. He wanted somebody to come to the door, and he asked if we had a cat. I did never seen this person in my life. And so I slept with my fucking 9 next to me, and I got like 3 hours of sleep, because I was like on fucking high alert. And
Yeah.
then I wake up in the morning, and I go to take the trash out. And my one neighbor was out. I was like, did anybody come knocking on your door? This was really weird. Somebody knocked on mine. She said, no, nobody. I said, okay, well, why would somebody knock on my door specifically? This
Yeah.
person was targeting me, right? So then I go next door, the other neighbor, knock on their door. The door was open. I stand there for 5 minutes because I know somebody's home. Nobody answers. I'm like, okay, this is kind
Dude,
of
this
weird.
is getting really weird.
My neighbors weren't home, or the parents weren't home at least. And I said, maybe the kid's just really afraid, because I know they have like a teenage son. And
Yeah.
then I get work for the rest of the day, and then I do some running around. I see the cars are finally in the driveway. I go over. The dad comes out. He goes, I am so sorry that my son came over last night. And I was like, so it
What?
was your son. So I live on a kind of busy road, so I don't
Wait, is
I
he
know my neighbors.
teenage or like
He's
I thought
18.
you said it was. Oh, okay. So it's like
Yeah.
like
So I couldn't tell. I didn't have my front light on, so it was black and white. And he had one of those shaved hair on the side with the ponytail, and I couldn't understand what he was saying. So when I was on the camera, I said, do I need to call the cops? And he's like, the cops. A parent, and I didn't know what their kid looked like. I've been here for 2 years and I've never seen him.
Yeah.
And
More
he's a grown
another
man.
red flag.
Yeah, he's 18, right? And so apparently he was driving home and he almost hit a kitten and it ran into my yard. So he had a flashlight and walked up to my front yard and was going to tell me, or ask me if there was a kitten because he was going to give it back. And his parents, when he got home, so I called the cops and said, just do a look around the neighborhood. I feel so bad because he thought he was doing something super nice and trying to return my kitten, and I called the fucking cops on him because I wasn't home. I was just trying to protect my wife and daughter. I went 80 miles an hour down like a 25-mile-an-hour road to get home.
Yeah, no, you were justified
Yeah,
off the circumstances that you had knowledge of.
exactly. Yeah, and so when I got there, the parents were afraid that I was really mad at their kid, and I said, no, I'm just glad it was your fucking kid trying to do a nice thing rather than some random dude trying to knock on my door or whatever.
Yeah.
And they the first thing they said to their kid was, you could have got fucking shot, and here I am with my 9 waiting for him, waiting for somebody to come back.
That dude was gonna crash into your house with his arms up like, I have this, boom 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 boom.
Yeah,
never got
and
to say kitten.
I couldn't. Well, because it was 10 o'clock at night, and I talk to my neighbors. I know them. Nobody goes to each other's houses. You just don't do that at night. It's not like you're an 8-year-old. If an 8-year-old was at my front door, I'd be like, hey, are you okay? But it was a man, and I'm like,
how far away was he standing from your door? Like in feet, if you had to guess. Like, was he like on like? Okay, so he was like on your doorstep.
Yeah, like as soon as he walked up, like, he had his flashlight.
Well, at first I thought you kind of made it sound like
doorbell.
he was like a more like maybe like 10 feet back, which I was like, that would be even way more.
Well, he came through the yard. So my neighbors are to the right. He came through the yard like he came from the road, and so maybe that was when he was looking for the cat. But all I heard was, somebody come down and talk to me. And do you have a kitten? And I was like, Sarah,
is he there?
Yeah, he's there. But I was talking to the parents. I think that when you don't have a family and you're in high school, you don't understand that going to somebody's doorstep, and he's probably used to being a kid, not looking like an adult. You don't understand that going to somebody's front door when you're a grown man at 10 o'clock at night, it's sketchy looking.
Yeah, fucking man bun Mason's gotta watch his shit.
Yeah, somebody different than me could have opened up the door with the fucking sawed off.
He would have been like, here's your kitten.
Yeah, now the kid shit bricks and he was like, what the fuck is this asshole calling the cops on me for?
What the fuck is it?
So that was last night.
I think you're both justified.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. I said, I hope he's not mad at me. I had to do what I had to do. I never fucking
unfortunate situation
outside.
For both. Like, maybe don't fucking show up.
Dude, yeah, wait.
Yeah, don't show up at someone's house at night and say, I need to come downstairs and talk to me. Like, or whatever he said. Like, that was the wrong thing to say. You lead if you're there at night.
Too.
Yeah, if you're there at night, you lead with what you're there for. Like, in a genuine...
He got so frustrated, too, because I couldn't hear him talking, and he probably gave a really, long description of what he was there for, and I didn't hear any of it, and then all I go is, what do you want?
He said, what?
He's like, I just told you.
No.
And I said, he did piss me off a little bit. I said, I cannot hear you. And he said, well, I'm talking pretty loud.
I'm talking? Dude, that guy had a fucking enough of you, dude. Yeah. The best part is you said, you couldn't hear him that well. I could see him being like, hey, man, did you lose a cat? And you're in there like, I have a gun.
I was like, all I said was, no, you gotta go.
I don't know where you came from, but you gotta leave.
He went and he sat on his front porch and the cops got him. They did. He sat on his porch and waited for the cops. His parents were like, I would have done the same thing. It's okay. I'm like, okay, cool.
I mean, so you have a child at home, wife.
Yeah.
You're not home.
If I was home, I would have answered the door maybe with my gun, one of these, this is where the door is, and so we can't see it. I'm like, what's up, dude? Isn't everything okay? And then if he starts getting sketchy, I slowly pull it out.
Yeah.
But no, that was my little. It was I got like no sleep, and I was ready to pop off.
That's pretty
But he's
great,
actually,
though.
but he's a good kid.
Yeah. That might be the best.
Bit of a smart ass.
Yeah, apparently. Because I'm talking plenty
I'm
louder.
talking pretty fucking loud.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's
piece of
awesome.
shit. I was like, this little burglar's got some balls on him.
Yeah, he does, dude. That might have been the best story in 50/50 history. All natural
I hope
story.
so.
Thank
Now
you.
that it's okay, now that I don't actually have a fucking stalker, then
Yeah.
it's cool.
But now in way more important news, Kylie Jenner and Jordan Woods are friends again, dude. So
That was
looks like they were able to
agree.
put aside that the
Was
fact that Jordan was mixed spoon and Tristan. When he was with
yeah,
Chloe.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
I was kind of laughing earlier, and I didn't know if does Jazzy up on this type of like pop
Oh
culture
yeah,
stuff.
and
Okay.
I straight hand in the air. I watched the entire Keeping Up with the Kardashians with her, like in the past 8 months. So
You
I've
ever see
seen
those?
literally every single episode.
Yeah, well, and this is kind of that point. You ever see those videos of it's like a boyfriend or a husband walking past his wife while she's watching a show, and it's like, what's this stupid show? And then every like 5 minutes, he's like kind of standing there watching, and then he just end up like into it. I've done
Yeah,
that shit so often. Not, I don't ever say it's stupid, but these shows, some of them are so
they
annoying and
suck you
kind
in,
of,
dude.
and then it's all of a sudden now I'm kind of invested because although everything that happens is so stupid and cringe, it's entertainment and it's good.
It's super entertainment.
Yeah,
It's like background TV is something you can do with, just minimal attention given.
yeah.
But yeah, the cheating scandal. I don't think that ever made the show because Keeping Up with the Kardashians ended, and then like Kardashians is now their new show.
Over on Hulu, is
But
it?
it's
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 probably the
it's
same.
wild, dude. Like Bruce is hilarious, and you just watch him become Caitlyn. Like you watch Kim go through her 60-day marriage with Chris Humphries, and then you watch
Yeah,
Kanye come in as like the shy guy entering the family, and then that basically transcends and like at the same time, like
you watch his
you
mental
see so
illness
many
progress.
yeah, you see so many athletes. You see Chris Jenner is bitchy, but she gets shit done.
Yeah,
And yeah, I will never watch them all again, but I've seen them.
yeah.
But
Hey,
yeah,
it's
they're friends
entertainment, dude.
again.
I
It's
don't
huge
I don't
news.
blame you. Yeah, good
Um,
news. I think everyone's just numb to Tristan being a cheater.
yeah,
It
that's what the
is.
people have been
Yeah.
saying.
They're like, we should be friends. He's pretty big piece of shit when it comes to being in relationships.
Yeah. Well, I have a little story for you now too. I don't think it's
Let's
gonna
hear.
top the cat burglar because that's unreal. But not this past weekend, but the weekend before. I went golfing. I played 18. Me and a buddy who used to live at my complex, we play a couple times, or a time a month or something, stay in touch. So yeah, we went to this course nearby, and I was going off, dude. I was having the time of my life. I was +1 through 9,
Oh shit.
absolutely living it up. And had ate two glizzies at the turn. I imploded on 10. I like tripled 10,
Oh
and then I
no.
doubled 11. And I got up on the tee box at 12. Three wood had been swinging well all day, and I chunked the shit out of it. And I've never thrown a golf club before. I reared back, dude, and I chucked it. So I tried to throw it completely straight because it was kind of a tight fairway. Um, and instead I threw it about 25 yards to the left and in a absolute thicket of bushes.
Oh.
It was not a good situation at all. So I was basically on my hands and knees, just going through rose bushes, going through all this bullshit,
Oh,
thick shit,
thorns and
so pissed off at myself. And at one point, I had been in there for like 5 minutes, and I was like, I got out, took a break, and I was like, um, I looked up to my right, up at the tee box, and there's a golf cart there, and I was like, two people in it, and I was like, have you guys been waiting? And they're like, yeah, like we saw everything, and I was like, I am so sorry. You can play through. And then So I ended up having to let 3 to 4 groups play through.
Oh God.
Um, I did find my club. Had been looking through all parts. I trudged in one last time, and the way it fell like basically straight up and down. So
Mm.
like I was looking and I saw the head because there's like an orange spot on the head, and I was literally so happy. Um, I did find about 40 golf balls too, which
I
was
was about to
sick.
say, yeah,
And
that's nice.
my buddy had texted me about 30 minutes before because I was like, "You can just go. Like, I'm not going to be in the right vibe to play. I got to look for my club.
Yeah.
I'm a dumbass. I'm an asshole. I got to eat this because I just bought it
Mm-hmm.
like recently.
Yeah.
It's expensive,
Mm-hmm.
and so I caught up with him. I had to walk from hole 11 or hole 12 to hole 15 is where I met up with him, and I played the final 4 holes, dude. Shot
Just
pretty well
walking
the
past
final 4 holes
people,
too,
dude.
and
I'll tell you
carried
what.
on.
I've I I usually I don't chuck my club like that. I usually am relatively close to my cart and I throw it down towards the ground to where it'll probably bounce up and hit the cart and not go very far.
Yeah,
And I don't let it linger usually either. It's hard not to. Like you might not be in the best mood, but I try not to like let it linger. Like I'm gonna like fucking throw it or hit something on the next hole or whatever.
yeah.
I might be a little pissy, but I'm not gonna do that. And the turn can be your enemy sometimes.
Dude, I
Sometimes
know. I
if you're
always
if
am
you have
so hungry, dude, but I just need to have
mm-hmm,
one hot dog and that's it. Because
yeah,
you eat the 2 in like 4 minutes, so you just absolutely gulp them.
and sometimes you never know if they're gonna be them jumbo ass dogs. And
Yeah,
then you're like, dude, I got
true. Then you just
two
got
of
too
these
much dog, and
massive
you're still
boys.
gonna eat it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna eat it, and I'm gonna feel gross. Then I gotta slip my greasy glove back on and get out there and swing.
Yeah, that sounded kind of sexual the way you
Yeah,
said it. It
it's
could
it's not
be.
a it's not a golf glove. It's a black leather glove.
So yeah, I will never throw a golf club again.
Yeah,
I
I
hope not.
wouldn't. Yeah, sometimes golf controls you though.
Yeah. Um, Love Island is also back. I don't think you watched Love Island.
Mm-mm.
But I'm a 3 year. This is my third season of Love Island. So
Again,
I
that's
bet.
another one that I'm sure if I tuned
Oh,
in,
dude, you'd
it would
get
suck
way
me
into
in.
Love
But
Island.
I just there's so many other things that
It's on
I
the
feel
cock if
like
you ever want to watch it.
Peacock.
No, the other one. Like,
You got the code to watch it tattooed on your cuck.
I'm like, what?
I didn't want to say the word, honestly.
Yeah,
I really didn't.
that's fair. I
I
probably
was like,
shouldn't have.
man, well, yeah, but I was talking about yours specifically, and I just really
Oh
didn't want.
yeah.
I didn't want to say it about your thing.
No, we'd be close enough for that.
Yeah,
So yeah, Love Island's back. Where it's the third season we've been watching, and it's a good season so far, man. They put an absolute virgin on it. Um,
you think
Normally they
that's
just
true? You think it's a real virgin?
watch for yourself. His name's Bergie, and
Mm.
absolute virgin.
Oh,
He admits on the
iceberg.
show that
Okay.
it's like the first time he's ever slept with a girl in the same bed. The first time he has ever
Mm.
cuddled a girl, and he's not. He's played like NCAA football, but he's a pretty like he's an awkward looking fellow. But yeah, usually they just put a bunch of like hot dudes and hot girls
Sexy
on there, and
dudes,
that's
yeah.
let them just go
You
at it.
just
And
you just never know because I again I didn't watch The Bachelor, but I know from like Sarah tuning in every now and then and whatnot. But that one dude that was The Bachelor kind of played the whole part, and a year or two later came out he was gay.
oh yeah,
Some stuff like that.
yeah.
So you
No,
never
this.
know.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Bergie too. He's like a genuine dude, and he's about to
Dude,
swoop this girl from this guy that looks like Jason Momoa. So it might be a good time to just be a good guy.
she wants to pop his cherry. See,
Yeah,
I could play any part. If somebody was like, "This part's gonna get you into Love Island," I could do it. Give me a part.
yeah.
Give me a
I'm on
part.
an island.
Give me a part.
Speaking of, you said something sexual. How much money would you have to get paid for someone to absolutely cram your wife or a girlfriend, significant other, boyfriend, whatever? Because Adam 22, a lot of people know him. I think he does podcast No Jumper, but he also has like a porn cast, I guess. And it's usually him just slamming his wife with some other girl because he
Yeah,
posts them
so
all on Twitter and stuff.
I I had no idea about this, but then I think Barstool posted it, something
Yeah,
about it. So that's how I
probably.
initially found out, and then I kind of went down the rabbit hole to find out who the fuck this guy was, and I think the whole because they're porn stars, right? So
I
they
mean,
be
he was a
fucking, but
podcast host first, and then he just kind of transitioned into like once
oh
OnlyFans
really?
came out. I think. Yeah, I mean, I'm
Oh,
not familiar with his work,
because
but
yeah, I actually recognized his face, and I just assumed that they were both porn stars forever or whatever. But so apparently, she hadn't banged anyone since they've been together, right? She had only been getting like doing scenes with him,
yeah, yeah.
and then she did a BBC scene, and I think the whole reason it kind of blew up is because she said something about sex with him was better, sex with the black guy
Oh,
was
with
better
the
than her
big guy named
boyfriend.
Jason Love, like I bet it was. Like,
Yeah, and then just how weird the internet is now. But I don't know. Those people are just a fucking different breed, man. Like
yeah,
they're like he was okay with that, and then probably to keep clout or whatever, the guy she did it with that's not her husband said some stuff too, and
true.
now
You got
that
to stay
it's
relevant.
just
The entire
yeah,
world is
exactly.
about staying
And that
relevant.
I feel like that's all you have to. That's how you have to take it. But I think he came. Adam 22 came back with some stuff as well. It's just so
Oh
odd
yeah, he
because in,
played it off
he,
like fine.
I saw he bought her like a Lamborghini for doing her first BBC scene or whatever, and I'm like,
It's awesome.
whatever. I
It's
don't.
American
Yeah,
dream.
if I don't know, I can't put myself in those big black and white shoes. to, to see how I would feel about it because as of right now, I just wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I think that's the safe answer. I'd probably do like
Yeah,
30 bucks.
yeah.
Just
I
kidding.
was gonna say don't start throwing numbers at me and then out me on this pod because who knows,
No, no numbers given. But he did
right?
it. He got cucked. He actually willingly cucked himself. Good for him. Lena, your hole's wider. I hope it's healing up a bit. And speaking of, still staying on the
Oh,
sexual page, we had taking
hey,
it in butts.
spoil this. Are we doing spoilers here? Are we doing
Yeah, I mean
spoilers here?
you
Okay,
gotta watch the
okay.
show. It was all over Twitter
Spoilers
too
here,
and
spoilers
Instagram.
here. Exactly. So, and that kind of ruined it for me a little bit too. So, spoilers here. We're going to talk about The Crowded Room a little bit with Tom Holland on Apple TV. I think it's so good, but the initial reviews are so bad. Like they're like the critic
Are they
reviews,
really?
and yeah, the critic reviews were pretty like I think in like the 50s or the 60s%, and
Damn,
then
that show was amazing.
the audience reviews are like in the 80s or the 90s,
Yeah,
and so that's been happening with so many movies lately that the critics are, and I think the critics are trying to almost like sway what they want people to see, but at the end of the day the audience is all that matters.
yeah,
And even though people might not like Ant-Man and Wasp or whatever, the critics gave it like a fucking 39. The audience still gave it like an 84. So they're gonna
yeah.
keep making movies like that until it is what it is. But yeah, Tom Holland. I love in the show how because I guess he had a really hard time filming this. I watched like an
I
hour and a half
bet.
podcast, and he was talking about how they thought about shutting it down at least for some time because he was struggling. And so I thought it was going to be some sort of psychological thriller. But in the first like 4 or 5 episodes, you just see him as Danny with his friends, and he's a really shy kid and everything.
Yeah,
And then all of a sudden they open it up, and it's like, oh my god, I forgot. They did such a good job at making you completely forget that he might have like a mental disability, like a mental illness, and then they just blow it up, dude. I've so are you all the way caught up so far?
yeah. Their last
Like
episode comes out this week, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
So they're in the
we're
court.
all caught up.
They're in the courtroom now, and I just think the way that they did it too. I told Sarah I ended up seeing that part in the bathroom stall when it was actually him.
Yeah,
I was scrolling through Twitter, not looking for spoilers. I hate when I know that people the second an episode comes out expect everyone to I'd already watched, but I started watching when like 6 or 7 episodes were already out, so I was catching up and I hadn't gotten there
Yeah.
yet. And so I told Sarah I kind of knew what was going on, and I didn't want to tell her. And it was like we already had gotten a hint, but that's why I was able to connect the dots about the stall or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like once you like slowly they open it up that some of these people or all of these people aren't real. That's when you really start to think, oh, shit, when that happened, when that happened, when that
Mm-hmm.
happened, like when he beats the piss out of the guy trying to rob him,
Angelo,
or
yeah.
Angelo, yeah, or like and then like he's well, I'm blanking on what's the girl's name? Um,
Annabelle,
that's not
Aria,
it.
Aria,
Aria or
Ariana.
Ariana.
Yeah,
Uh, like he's her the whole time. So then you go back and think of every scene she went through, and like it's like whoa, and then he's just
exactly. Well,
switching
and
personality to
then
personality.
you're trying to think. Okay, was some of these? I didn't think I did. It makes sense that because they had the one episode was named the crowded room.
Yeah,
It
I
makes
know.
sense.
And
It
you
I
see
was
that little
thinking
cut piece with they're all in the barn. You see
yes,
that
yeah.
like early,
And
but you
I
don't.
thought that was so cool. They were all kind of in a circle, and
Yeah,
Danny's completely unaware that these are here until it finally started to get unlocked because the mechanism wasn't working anymore. But
yeah,
I kept thinking, okay, some at least one or two of these people have to be real. None of them
I
were.
know. That's
None
the
of them
thing is
are.
because
I
they
was like,
they
okay,
they didn't
Yitzhak
do it
had to
all
be
at
real.
once. Yeah, exactly. They
Hmm.
literally unfolded it like piece by piece, and that's when it got wild because it was like you're like I thought his friends at least were real,
Hmm.
like
Yeah,
someone.
yeah, I thought at least one of his friends was real. The one reason I knew Johnny right away was not real was remember when they finally showed it from Raya's point of view the first time she met Danny and he broke out of the cuffs. I was like, oh fuck, right
Yeah,
there, that Johnny's not real. Uh, and dude, it's crazy because like even it's so sad too because it's all because of abuse and whatnot and I don't know what this last episode's gonna
dude,
come
it's
to
gonna
but
be crazy.
it's probably gonna show that he actually was abused too because he was using Ariana because remember he couldn't have sex as himself
Yeah,
with the blonde girl.
yeah,
So that's why I thought that Ariana was real and he just cucked it on in
yeah,
that bedroom scene.
yeah. He literally became another person to please this girl.
Hmm.
But it
Yeah,
worked out. No,
dude.
I
So
think it's gonna get unfolded.
and from a Tom Holland point of view, I kept thinking, man, I hope this show progresses because I don't know if you saw the movie Cherry, but they filmed it in Cleveland with him and the Russo brothers, and he was basically a veteran and he grew up in a shitty home, and then he came out and he was basically a drug dealer or no, a drug addict, and I just didn't want to see him be a kind of soft, shitty, shy character and then all of a sudden you started seeing from other people's point of views how he was actually the alters and he's fucking killing this role.
Yeah, he is. No,
Yeah.
he's a really good actor.
Hmm. Yeah,
Jazz is
so
Jazz is obsessed with him and Timothy Chalamet.
they both could probably do about any of each other's roles.
Yeah, they're very interchangeable.
Yeah,
Dune was a sick movie.
I know I was a little late on it, but I just like a week ago watched the Dune 2 trailer and I think Sarah's whole family reads a lot
Yeah,
and I can't remember when it was exactly, but we were talking about Dune, and Sarah's dad told somebody, "Yeah, but you have to read the book maybe like 4 or 5 times before you really get it. It's this massive book." And I'm thinking, dude, there's no fucking chance. There's
you
just
did.
no
Yeah,
chance.
no,
I'm like,
absolutely
okay,
not.
John. Like,
I would have called him
I,
out. I
I,
would have been like, "You
I'm
did
gonna
not
read.
read that book 4 times."
Yeah. No, I think he definitely did,
Oh
but
God,
that's like somebody talking to me and saying you have not seen Avengers Endgame, a 3 hour movie,
2017, 27 times. Like,
probably more, definitely more. I would say I've seen, and I'm not watching it every time, but a lot of times I'll be
yeah,
working, I
just
just
to
put
have it
something
on.
on, yeah,
It's a good
just so I
move.
can get my jiggles off when I see Cap getting Mjolnir, but that's
Yeah,
neither here nor there.
yeah. So, Crowded Room season 10 or episode 10 is gonna be sick, and we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah.
A little bit of
Now let's
sports.
yeah, I was about to say let's get to a little bit of
Yeah,
sports. Let's talk about these couple in a row.
yeah,
Fucking NFL running backs, man.
yeah. So they're having a really tough time, and it's hard because there's really no justifiable solution. I was listening to Pardon My Take, and they were saying like you could eliminate the franchise tag on them. You could make their first round deal shorter, like only 3 years
Mhm.
instead of 5. But
Yeah.
like you can't just do that for one position. So anyway, basically, the running backs in the NFL are having a huge financial problem. They're not getting nearly as much money as any other
Yeah.
position, and it's literally every other position.
Yeah.
So they've tried the holdout. We saw Le'Veon Bell a couple, 4 or 5 years ago, whatever. That didn't work out at all. He ended up signing a
Yeah.
shitty deal after that.
And not
And we're
being
back
good
at it. Yeah,
after.
now we're
Yeah.
back at it this year.
Todd Gurley signed a big one. Was
He
not good
did.
after. Zeke signed one, but they had already rode him out for 5 years, and when he was the most efficient, productive back in the league, and it's so my thoughts are two of the backs that are all pissed off about it is Josh Jacobs and Saquon.
Yeah,
Well, they've been either injured for 2 of the 4 seasons or they have not had productive years 2 of the 4 seasons. So what is making you think you're going to get top dollar for your 5th season when there's a 50% chance that you are not going to, pan out? Because like
yeah,
if you're like Nick Chubb, you come into the league and you're reliable and you're productive and consistent, and he's had you're a running back, you're gonna miss a couple games here and there, but he's got 1,000 yards every single season. After year 3 they said we're going to give you the fucking extension because
yeah,
we can count on you, and at the very least you gave us 3 years. Here's what it is, blah blah blah. I don't think that Jacobs and Saquon have uh what is it called, a leg to stand on. So it's
yeah.
just it's tough because they're just expecting, because their last year was their best year, that they should get the money now. But it's like, we have 4 years of your resume, dude.
Saquon's best year was his rookie year, and then
Yeah, you're right.
Jacobs wants his money, and he didn't get it because he ran the ball like 300 times last season, and he
Yeah,
was
his
probably the
his
best
his
running back in the
average.
league. But he is,
Yeah,
and he's already injury prone, so like
yeah.
he is going to break down in 2 to 3 years or less.
Well, and that's part of the scheme too. Nick Chubb does not run the ball as much as a lot of these other people because he averages 5 yards to carry, and
Yeah, he's just the
I
best
think
running back in the league.
they're saving him. I mean, but I don't know. I saw on First Things First, one of the they thought about, okay, if I'm a 4th round running back, I could make $500,000, or yeah, $500,000 on a deal or whatever. But why would I do that if I can come back to college in an NIL deal? Sorry, am I boring you?
No, sorry.
No, if I can come back and get an NIL deal up to $3 million, and it was a good thought process. What if
Yeah,
people start doing that and running backs stay in college a little bit longer? So then it's not so like many running backs coming out
yeah,
into the draft. So then they're not picking them in the first round like that and whatnot. And there's not this like insane amount. I mean, if there's a really
yeah,
good running back, then they're going to get picked in the first round, and then there'll be less people expecting everything, but there'll be less running backs, doing this, and maybe they had made some of their money or whatever. Because at the same time, football just evolves, and this seems like it's another thing of football evolving, because not that the fucking fullback ever did as much as the running back, at least in the last 25 years, but now you see like second string tight ends getting the money that a top running back gets because
yeah.
they're
It's
used.
insane.
They're not as valuable, but for some teams that don't have running backs, I mean, you look at when did the Chiefs draft Pacheco last year, or
They got him
some shit like that.
undrafted, I think, or maybe the
Exactly.
sixth,
Yeah.
fifth round or something.
Some late shit. It's just nuts. And then Saquon's on this call or whatever, and then he's like, "Actually, I'm gonna sign a deal."
Yeah,
Because there was
he
no.
had
He's like, "There's no solution."
no, he absolutely fucked them. I don't know. They got on that call like yesterday, and then he
Hmm.
signed that 1 year deal with for like 11 million with, but it's all like incentive laden. Like
Yeah.
he just did it again. He had a huge holdout and then set the market back for running backs again. And he held out,
Hmm.
like not held out, but like he wanted to last year too. Like
Yeah.
say like Oh, dude, running back is tough because at this point, if I were running back, I would just develop as good as hands as I can and just be like, I'm a wide receiver out of the backfield that you can also hand the ball to
Yeah,
sometimes,
like
and I want to be paid like a wide
CMC.
receiver. Like, dude, that's
Christian
and he
Mc,
got like 16 mil a year, and he no one's complaining about his deal.
yeah, because nobody's complaining about it because even though the last like 3 years he's been hurt a lot. When he plays, he's so productive
So
that
good.
the games that he plays is gonna outweigh the games that he's not going to get hurt. And
Yeah,
now he's on the 49ers and he doesn't have to carry the complete load either, so he's probably not going to get as many touches, but he's going to get just as many yards and
yeah,
touchdowns and shit.
facts.
So if you can, I don't know. I think it's all about consistency and talent. Even though Saquon has just about all the same tools as he's like a bigger Christian McCaffrey, but instead of like Christian McCaffrey was good and not hurt his first 2 or 3 or 4 years,
Yeah,
was not like that for them. So I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do, but you gotta. I think you just they gotta eat it right now.
yeah,
Nick Chubb and Derrick Henry are trying to like back the running backs, but they kind of already got their bag too.
yeah.
Even
They
though
they
it was
did,
10 mil, but
and
yeah,
well, but even then, it's just like yeah, it just makes too much sense. An anonymous GM was literally like, "Why would I pay a running back when I can just draft one high and burn him out for 5 years?"
yeah, you're gonna yeah, like a billionaire. These owners, it's all about their money, and they know the rules front to back and everything. Why would they spend more money on any of this when they can
I
get the
know,
same production at a different, from later in the
literally,
draft? I don't know. Um, they're kind of fucked.
yeah.
I
So
let's
running
just
backs are fucked.
Yeah, let's just talk about this really quick. I don't know if you've been seeing. So people always get asked, like in the NBA, what's their top five, their starting lineup, and I always see, and a lot of it's probably our generation or whatnot. Like I love Kobe. Kobe's definitely top top 10, top eight, whatever it is. I don't think Kobe's top three. Like a lot of people when they bring it up, like around our
They
age and
always bring
definitely
him up.
definitely younger, it's like LeBron, Kobe, and MJ. And it's like I don't think Kobe's in that conversation. But
No,
anyway, so I love Kobe though, but it's like you have to say that now
no,
because
yeah, no,
you can't. Yeah, you can't talk shit. But
yeah,
even though it's not talking shit, it's like he's top 10. But anyway, I've been seeing like Steph Curry and James Harden did their starting five, their all time starting five, and they put Kobe and MJ in, and it's like, isn't that kind of redundant? There's so many people that have been
yeah,
in the game, and especially when you have LeBron, Kobe, and MJ, none of them are actually good or great shooters, and LeBron's only ever super great with a team if he's got at least like one spot up shooter. You gotta have
yeah,
like Steph, LeBron, MJ, Duncan, and Shaq or some shit. It's just been bothering me that I see so many people put Jordan and Kobe right next to each other.
yeah. And that brings me up to a quick point. One thing we'll never get that I really wish we would have is LeBron and KD on the same team.
Yeah. Dude, well, KD can step in any fucking team and immediately be great.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, he's the best shooter. Well, Steph's the best 3-point shooter. I'd say Kevin Durant's the best all around, I think, shooter of all time.
Yeah, he can get any shot he wants because he get up over top of anybody.
Dude, him and Braun, they would have won all of them.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, 100%. Ever since his death, people definitely have vaulted Kobe a couple slots up in their top 100, and that's no disrespect to him because he was an
yeah,
incredible player. R.I.P. But
yeah,
he's like you said, he's a simply slighter, lesser version of Jordan, but enough lesser where it's like you got to put Kareem in there, you got to put LeBron in there, you got to
yeah.
put maybe a Bill Russell, maybe a Wilt
Mm-hmm.
Chamberlain, like Larry Bird, like there Magic Johnson, like there are players that were simply just a little bit better than Kobe, and that's okay. He's still top
Yeah,
10, top
yeah,
12, top 8, whatever.
yeah. Because it's obviously terrible and even worse that all the people went down with them and even his daughter, but it's made his legend grow like crazy, and that's
Yeah.
fine too. I mean, you see
I
the
mean,
fucking people that
it's in every case. Every person that dies young, like
yeah.
you see that they usually
Oh,
blow
they
up a
could
little
have
bit.
done this. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
but
and
all
Kobe
the
was
shit.
already had done enough to blow up for 10 lifetimes.
Yeah,
And when he died, it was actually like a whoa.
yeah. That shit was crazy, man. But
Yup.
yeah, I just wanted to bring it up because I think that they're like the same player. It's just weird to see them right next to each other.
Yeah. I'm gonna skip Barbenheimer. I saw it's been a very highly anticipated debut of two movies coming out in the same weekend. Um,
Did you
Barbie
see
made
either?
like no, I haven't seen either yet. But I
Okay,
heard
me either, me
Oppenheimer's
either.
really good, and I heard Barbie is overrated.
Well, I think it depends on who you ask. Barbie obviously did
I mean, I
great.
would come in with no expectations.
I
Like,
think that's what it is. People have gone in, and I've heard that there's a lot of guys that, guys in particular are pretty butthurt about the feminism in this movie, and it's like, dude, it's a fucking doll movie, and it's not supposed to
yeah.
take itself serious. It's supposed to be the most
It's
goofy
also yeah.
movie
It's
you've
not also
ever
not
fucking
supposed to
seen.
make. It's not supposed to make you feel more like a man.
Yeah, it's like
Like, I'm sorry. Like,
like you're gonna go in there and just be Mister Insecure and hate the movie. Then it is what it is. You got your own
yeah,
issues to work out, buddy.
yeah. I want to see Michael
Sarah,
Cera.
yeah. Oh my god, I know. He's so fucking funny.
I love that guy. Said he has a flip
Sarah,
phone.
yeah. Oh, and yeah, in real life,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like I was like, did they make phones for Barbies? Sarah saw it and she liked it, and I told her, I said, "That's probably one I'll wait." I said, "If you'll watch it again, I'll wait till it like comes out and we can rent it for $4 or whatever." But
Yeah, exactly.
or it
You
comes
know,
out or something.
Oppenheimer seems like one of those movies that's going to be on HBO in like in like a month.
Yeah, it depends because I think Barbie is one of the movies that it had. There's a specific crowd that was going to see it, and they're going to see it right away. I think that movie is going to have one of the biggest drop offs after like maybe even 1 week because they made so much money the first week that
Yeah,
everybody that
everyone
was going
just
to
wanted
see
to
it
see
kind of
it.
went to see it.
Yeah, they made like
To
300
where,
million or something
yeah,
opening
shit
weekend.
ton. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think Oppenheimer is going to be more steady. Like they obviously did good, but it's going to be more steady decline because that's probably towards a lot of people that aren't gonna go see a movie opening night or whatever,
Yeah.
especially like the older crowd and whatnot. Because I'm probably
Yeah.
gonna see it this coming weekend. But I heard they killed it, and
Yeah. I mean,
apparently,
Christopher Nolan doesn't make bad movies.
yeah, apparently there's a scene that Florence Pugh's naked in. And in India, they CGI'd a black dress on her or something because they didn't want to show it.
Yeah, cause that's
These
wild.
Yeah, but I don't know. I've heard good things about the movie, and I'll go friggin' see anything Robert Downey's in.
Hell yeah, I know. I didn't even
I,
know he was in it until like a week ago. Not even a week
yeah,
ago.
because he's all masked up. Well, they didn't do a ton of promotion on like TV or anything. I
They
was
only
watching
promoted
every
Cillian Murphy on
yes,
everything.
exactly. It was him and Barbie on everything, which was amazing, and that's why I was just looking too. I think because this was so successful, other studios are going to start pairing movies together like that. And I
Smart.
saw, yeah, because all of the promotion now is done for free on freaking Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah.
They don't even have to do a lot of stuff because, like I said, I haven't seen this stuff on TV. I've gotten it all from here, and that's how I knew everything was coming out. And
Yeah.
so now another studio, they moved the dates to where Saw and the kids Paw Patrol movie was going to come out on the same day, and now they're calling it Saw Patrol.
I saw that. It's gonna be awesome.
It's just the funniest thing. They're like, this worked out. Let's do that. But yeah, we were like, let's skip that, and then we just did a 20-minute segment on it.
Yeah, we got to mostly wrap it up. But I have at least one more thing that I want to end with.
Mm-hmm.
The very last thing on the list. So,
Mm-hmm.
did you have anything else you want to bring up beforehand?
No, not worth. I honestly just really wanted to get my burglar story in because I just went and talked to the parents about 20 minutes before I came over here. So it was
I love that.
nice.
So we were driving to work this morning, and so there's a certain like tunnel that's closed lately, and it's closed till the end of August for construction, and it is making our trip in the morning like it's an actually like 25 minutes to our commute. So it's been taking like anywhere from like an hour to an hour and 15 minutes to go like 13 miles. So you deal with a lot of traffic that's just kind of moving along a little bit, little by little. And I was getting really pissed off this morning, and I was just like, fucking, like I hate traffic. I hate sitting in traffic, and I made a thing with my nose, and I realized I had a boogie. So
You made
I
a thing.
yeah, like I was made a face, and like through the way
Oh,
my nose scrunched up, I felt it. So I
oh,
was like, I'm going in.
a
So
hard one.
I was like on this boogie, went up all up there, got it out. It was like a one that you had to form a little bit, but it had some solidness to it. And I looked over at Jazz, and she was like, "You just pick your nose." I was like, "Yeah, do my thing. I always do that." And I just like looked at her, and my window. I was like, "All right, I'll flick it." I was like, my window was down, and I just looked at her. I was like, "I'm gonna flick this on a car." And I just looked over, and I went, "Pooh!" And this Jeep drove by at the perfect time, and it was like a blue Jeep, and it just went. And you could just see it stick to the side of the door, and I was like, "Chess, like, do you see that? Do you see?"
And
That?
were you, were you were you guys going like right next to each other for like a while too, to where you could see the booger?
Oh yeah, we were just watching the booger for like a couple minutes after. It
It's
was
funny. It was
it
like
was a
your inside
perfect
joke.
turn. It was a perfect turn flick, and I just watched it go straight and just. And I was like, oh
Gosh, those are the funniest too, because it's like just you two knew, and
yeah,
you're because like if they saw it, then maybe it would have been like I didn't
like
mean like then you don't make eye contact because they know you flicked a booger on their car.
yep,
That's good. I do that all the time. It's like, dude, I got to get this boogie out of my nose right now. And a lot of times I keep napkins in my center console. You never know what's gonna happen.
yeah, no, 100%. I'm a napkin
And
in the glove compartment guy, but
I got napkins everywhere.
fair,
Yeah, don't matter
um,
where they are, but I store them.
yeah. So that
Man,
guy in the
we
Jeep, I'm super sorry.
he's not gonna get that thing off.
It's gonna be after today. It was like really hot out, and then it thunderstormed. It's probably cemented on there.
He's gonna go to wash it off. It's just gonna take that piece of paint off. Well,
No.
I thought that kid, that skinny, ugly kid, flicked a booger at me.
Well, it couldn't have been me because I'm not skinny.
You
No,
just
I'm
have
pretty
huge
skinny.
hips now.
Yeah.
I've
Dude's just
seen
absolutely
that.
bricked
You
up.
told me you had a procedure done, but you didn't tell me what it was, and you're just thunder thighs now.
Yeah. I got a
Uh,
BBL. It's a Brazilian butt lift.
oh, is it? I was like, big
Saw it in
black.
Kardashians.
Mm. Yeah, dude,
Actually, maybe it's a different show.
you're Kardashian out,
Yeah. But yeah,
dude. We could
that
have
was
we
good.
could have we could have made this episode probably an hour and 40 minutes
Yeah, we
long.
skipped one, two, three, like at least five, six
Yeah,
things.
we'll potentially save them for later, but we always have super interesting stuff happening. So
Yeah, we always come. So, don't we? Do we
typically,
not?
oh, always. All right, signing off.
Signing off. Sorry, I didn't
Welcome to
realize
the
we weren't
fucking
even done
show.
yet. Welcome to the show, my sexy baby.